my mom came into the room and she's like, look at my phone. And then I couldn't see it, so I had to look at mine. I'm like, oh.
I can't bet against Tom Brady. I have the Bucks winning 31-27 and Tom Brady going to his 10th championship.
Yeah, and I really think the Clippers' chance to win the championship was last year. And they were up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets.
Chris Paul is one of the most underrated players of all time. He's been the best player wherever he goes, and that includes with the Rockets.
You said you can't bet against Tom Brady, and as a Cowboys fan and what I just did last weekend, I am not going to bet against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. I mean, that's all I can really say. There's two of the top 5 players in the league, and they are very, very good.
Hello, I'm Taylor Hearn, and you listen to The Outsiders' Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. We got a lot of them as the divisional round raises those stakes because it does get you a conference championship. And sometimes, of course, you need that to go to the Super Bowl. And that was kind of the plan for the Buffalo Bills. But they didn't make it. They lost in the divisional round. And Sean McDermott is now fired.
Do you think this has to do with him not making the conference championship? Or do you think this was inevitable if they didn't win a Super Bowl because of this, how this season was kind of organized? Because there was not many contenders, in my opinion, like Mahomes gone, no Lamar, no Burrow. Even in the NFC, the Eagles had already lost. Like it seemed like this was the year, right? Because of how many contenders were out. Or do you think this was more just because they lost in the divisional round, and if they made the conference championship, he was going to keep his job?
I think if he makes the conference championship and it's a close game, I think he has a better argument, but it is kind of you needing a Super Bowl appearance, given just like everything you said. You were the team to beat, even though you weren't the number 1 seed. It was just given all that playoff success.
Yeah. Even though they were the 6th seed, they were the team to beat. And I think that the fact that they lost into the divisional round, I mean, that really hurts, and especially after so many grueling playoff losses, something has to change. And I mean, you're not going to trade Josh Allen, even if he played poorly in the game against the Broncos.
Yeah, you're not going to trade Josh Allen. I think McDermott spent so long with the team, he made them a great team, but it does kind of with the falls in the posting, it does kind of like, okay, let's bring someone else in.
Yeah. Outside of that, though, what do you think they're looking in for a new head coach? Is it going to be a young guy that is inexperienced but is an offensive guru, or is it going to be one of those coaches that has a little bit more experience, or is it going to be an offensive coach that has a lot more experience? Do you think it's going to be an experienced coach or a young coach first, and then what side of the ball do we think that you're going to come from?
I think you almost might go young and just be like, let's try something new to give a different approach. And I think it will be an offensive-minded coach.
Okay. So do you think this is a first-time head coach?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, so you think it's going to be both a young coach, an offensive coach, but also a first-time head coach. Is there a team that you think is like anyone else in this situation? Do you think this is going to be similar to the Ravens also, is where they're probably going to go is young, or do you not think they're going to follow in the Bills' footsteps? Do you think they're going to be similar in that respect or no?
I think they might be similar because like when you look at the coaches they had, they were experienced and they were building a lot, and they had been there a while. I think they may want to have a change of voice, and a person to do that is a young guy that has new ideas.
How much say do you think Josh Allen gets in this signing?
I think he gets some say, like, okay, have you worked with this guy? But I don't think he gets the final say. I do think he gets some input. I do think he will be the focal point. It would be like, okay, how would you make Josh Allen better?
Yeah, I definitely think that he's going to be the focal point. I think it's hard to imagine him not being the focal point. I mean, he's been the focal point of an organization ever since he was a very high draft pick. Um, I'm very interested to see if they go young or old. I think that I know that McCarthy struggled with the Cowboys, and I know I mentioned him a couple times, but I think he'd be an interesting guy for the team because he has won a Super Bowl with an MVP caliber QB, and that sort of is obviously where they're at. But I do think that they're a little bit different in the case that the Bills don't have the history that the Packers do. I mean, the Packers have won Super Bowls and the Bills haven't. And I think that that pressure that is on a head coach to be the first one to win is going to be pretty daunting.
Yeah, it's going to be daunting. And one guy, you mentioned McCarthy. Do they promote Joe Brady, who is a head coaching candidate and their offensive coordinator?
Good question. I don't know.
You could also, if you want to go a little bit experience, you could go Brian DeBall because he does have experience with Josh Allen.
That's true. Man, that would be crazy if it was the ball.
Yeah. He's someone to where McDermott to me gets hired in this cycle.
You think McDermott
DeBall,
gets hired?
Yeah, I think he gets hired. If I'm one of the teams that wants to set a culture, I would hire him. Also, if I'm the Steelers, I might consider him because he's defensive coach, and he did build a team around a quarterback. Like he was part of the team that developed Josh Allen.
Yeah. Even though he's a defensive head coach, he definitely did. He definitely, at least culture-wise, helped Josh Allen become a leader in the locker room.
He picked the right guys. The only coach they fired was Ken Dorsey, but you have DeBall and Brady, who both had coaching candidates while being the offense coordinator.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about the ball being a candidate. That'd be so insane to me. But I think it'd be a good one. I think that'd be a good hire. I think that's now kind of what I want to see happen because that would be a crazy route to stay in New York.
Yep.
For all your coaching gigs that were major at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be crazy. I think there is a benefit of going outside the organization of someone that has no previous connection to Allen.
Yeah, because then you could maybe get Allen to be different than he always has been, which obviously he's an MVP candidate and won an MVP, but maybe a new voice can help him find something, whether physically or mentally, to get him over the hump.
Yeah. So you have to, I think it's a shorter leash than what McDermott had. I think you got about probably 3 or 4 years.
What do you think that their success is going to be based on year one? Like, what are the expectations year one for a new head coach?
I think win the division. And so, of course, you make the playoffs, but I think you have to compete in the divisional round. Like, you can't advance to the divisional round and get blown out. But let's say you lose 34-31. I think it's okay.
So you think you can lose in the divisional round in a close game? But do you think if you lose in the divisional round and it's not a close game, you think he's gone after year one?
I don't know if he's gone, but it's like, okay, what are you doing? Like, the goal is to get to the Super Bowl with this hire in those 4 years. But so, like, I do think you have a leeway in the first and second year, but after that, you got to be AFC Championship game and Super Bowl.
Yeah, the expectations for them. Okay, one more question regarding the Ravens. They're just very comparable because of Josh Allen. And whose expectations do you think are higher between the two organizations, or do you think they're exactly the same?
I want to say the Bills' expectations are higher because there's a
Okay.
better
I agree
system
with you.
around Allen.
I agree with you, and that's only because, in my opinion, I don't know if it would be the system, but because of what happened this season. I mean, the Ravens just missed the playoffs, so I don't think the expectations are as high as quickly as with the Bills, because the Bills are in a situation where they just lost in the divisional round. They still won 11 games this year, so I think the expectations are higher just because of that.
Yeah, and like they might be one of the longest tenured playoff streaks right now, currently.
Yeah,
Because they
they're
haven't
definitely
missed
up
the
there
playoffs.
because the Chiefs are out.
Chiefs are out. Like not
The
all
Eagles had
time.
missed a couple times. Yeah, all time, but active, I think they may be.
Yeah.
If not
Yep.
one, they're at least 2 or 3.
So that is kind of pressure. Like, okay, you have the goal of getting to the playoffs. Now you got to advance far.
Yep.
So should be very interesting. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.